back at it. You new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button for me. And make sure you hit the notification so you know when I'm up here. And please hit that like button, man. Hit the like button. Wait for a few people to get up in here, man. Been a long day. We already at Wednesday. The week flying by. It's going crazy. Up and down weather. North Carolina's that they call it the bipolar state for weather. 1 minute is hot. The next minute is cold. Next minute is back hot again. Next minute is cold. Crazy weather, man. Crazy weather. Especially in the wintertime. We have a lot of hot days in our wintertime out here, man. A lot of hot days. But hey, I ain't mad at it. I love it. I grew up in that cold weather. I hate cold weather, man. But I will adjust. It's easy to get in that AC real quick. And it's easy to get into the heat too, ain't but still. It's just a mind thing, I guess. You gotta like cold weather to wanna enjoy that. And I know a lot of people that say they love it when it get cold, man. It is what it is. Now I want to just get into a few things, man. Was watching the Drink Champs, man, and a lot of people was calling me. This is the only reason why I'm touching on it. It's the only reason, because my phone been going off the hook, and really since the other day, and I wasn't paying no attention about the Drink Champ situation, using this under fair use. A lot of people, every time some Rich Porter and Alpo names come up or rise uh, in these YouTube streets or Instagram streets, everybody start calling me, man. They always call me and ask me the questions. So, Ro Williams, what up? He said, was that serious what happened to Cam on his show? When I first seen it, somebody told me about it and I looked at it and I'm like, hold up, nah, that ain't true. First of all, somebody fighting, you ain't gonna just let them pull you over. I don't care how much of a real wrestler that is. You ain't just gonna get pulled over the table without even struggling to pull back. That's how I analyzed it that fast. And him being down there on the floor long, that dude didn't really punch him. Not only that, Cam security ain't gonna have that up in there, man. That ain't happening, man. That homie would have had to show some real wrestling skills for real. So I knew everybody's saying it wasn't real. Which, hey, he got the reaction he wanted, got the numbers that he wanted, and he got a check from it. That's all that is, man. Think of another way to make a dollop happen, man, and get the people talking, man. And that's what's entertaining about it. Boogs, what up? See you, Ron Boogie. Yeah, that definitely was a skit. Definitely was a skit. But yeah, my phone been going off the hook. Mad people be hitting me up and was saying that Teddy Riley was on the Drink Champ situation podcast, excuse me, and it was a part that came up when Noria asked him some questions, something about Alpo and Rich Porter, man. And everybody always called me, and like I said, always hit me up when some Alpo and Rich Porter stuff come up, and if they want to know if stuff is true. So they called me because Too Real Larry, salute, bro. L Famous in the building. Real brother right there. Rock with L Famous. So, they was asking me about the part when Teddy Riley said that Rich Porter was his best friend. He said Alpo killed his best friend. And we got to forgive and forget. So everybody was asking me, yo, Teddy Riley was really his best friend? Was he? Which everybody know that my brother Jay Black and Slade, those are two of my real best friends, brothers from a different mother, but God bless Black Mama. That's my mama. My mama's J Black Mama. All the above. And Slade is not Slade locked up, but he'll be home. We wait for him to get out now. He's doing 20 something years, 24, 25, for a homicide that he did not commit, and he did not tell on who did it. He told them, they told him, you can get out of here right now. He didn't. He did his time. He's in there, and they know he didn't do it. They want to make an example out of him. That's Rich Porter's best friend. Jay Black, that's Rich Porter's best friend that I know of. So, I had to call and do my homework and ask. But I'm going to let y'all hear what Teddy Riley said, and then I'm going to give y'all the answers to it.
I wanna stay there for a second. People know who Rich Porter and like Alpo is now, right? Mm-hmm. Were you ever felt like you were in like danger or like just being around them, or they was just irregular?
That's my guys.
Yeah.
Alpo, last time I seen Alpo, I was 2019. I gave
so when he came home
at the Apollo.
Okay.
He came to my dressing room.
Okay.
Even though he killed my best friend,
right.
We have to learn how to forgive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Life is short. I knew it when it came from us, but I knew a lot of people,
That's how close you was to Rich Porter? Because I think you just said that's your best friend.
Right.
Wow.
It's like my brother. I mean, Rich Porter, him and AZ kicked me off the street.
I heard you say that, but I would like to read.
But it wasn't, I got kicked off for it.
So y'all heard it right there, man. So, yeah, Ron Book said facts, free Slade. That's a fact. That's my brother. That's Rich Porter's best friend and Jay Black. Facts. Thorough but sincere say everybody wants to be important. Now, Teddy Riley, I'm a big fan of Teddy Riley. This ain't no disrespecting him or nothing. I'm a big fan of Teddy Riley, but people called and asked me, and I have to give my honest opinion on it. And sometimes we wonder why do certain people want to have street credibility when they don't have to. Teddy Riley is beyond a mogul to me, man. Somebody I look up to. And, in this music genre, in this one of the people that we could say put Harlem on his back and made a name for Harlem, all of the above. His catalog is ridiculously incredible. Ridiculously incredible. I'm just trying to figure why he said that, and I tried to, and I had to call and ask. So I called Jay Black and asked him. And I'm like, yo, Teddy Riley was tight with Rich Porter, because Jay Black was across the street on 132nd, and AZ had his spot across the street on 131st. I used to be over there with AZ. Jay Black was over there with Rich Porter, him and Slade. When people used to come get work and drop money off, they got to get the money to Slade and to Jay Black. And Jay Black and them, they know what to go do, and they handle everything. Period. When it was time to go play basketball against in St. Nick Projects, Lil Scotty, God bless the dead, and I forgot who else was from St. Nick Project, which that's where Teddy Riley is from. And Rich Porter always come and get Jay Black and my boy Mo, and to go and play them, because Scotty and them was some of the best that ever did it. God bless R.P. Scotty, man. Thorough but sincere said he may not know Rich Porter just like everyone else, but wants some type of fame to be associated with Rich Porter. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people be wanting this street credibility. I don't know why, when their name is humongously big, that overshines Rich Porter or anybody that's ever been on these mean streets that had to really struggle. And so I don't know. But so I asked Jay Black, and he was like, I've never seen Teddy Riley come over there. He said, I've never ever seeing him like when we was playing basketball. We used to always play basketball, get 30, 40,000, 50,000 a game, stuff like that. And I've never seen Teddy Riley there. I used to go stand over there with Rich and them sometime, and because they snap and joke and hang around the big boys and stuff and learn stuff, man. So and cars pull up everywhere all the time. Yo, Rich standing outside is like like he was a big rapper, a big celebrity. AZ and them pulling up, standing outside, big rapper, big celebrity. And I've never ever heard A talk about Teddy Riley. I've never seen Teddy Riley talk to AZ. As I got a certain age, I used to run with A lot. Or I'll be outside of the spots that we ever had, that A ever had. I'm standing out there. I used to work in the jukebox, running, regulating the jukebox. The jukebox probably a little bit before Teddy Riley time. He probably was on his come up then as a young boy in our age bracket. But I've never seen Teddy Riley around Rich Porter. Never. Never seen him around AZ. In my mind, I'm like, damn, I went back and listened to it when they told me to go listen to it. I'm like, wow, he really said that. So now I'm calling my boy Jay Black, and Black was like, he never ever seen Rich pull up. Even from Queens, Black Just, God bless the dead, is my brother. He used to pull up all the time from Queens. God bless the dead. T Money, big dogs used to pull up all the time. Like all the big dogs used to pull up. LL Cool J used to come and pull up and hang around us. That's documented. Roxanne Shante, AZ used to date her. She used to be out there with us. Salt and Pepper used to be with A and Alpo. Busy B, the rapper, he used to come around and be around me. Busy B and A used to be bottling up together. And I'm only saying all this to say it was celebrities that was coming around and hanging around us. I've never seen Teddy Riley for him to make a big statement like that Rich Porter was his best friend. And it ain't nothing to really brag about. Rich not here anymore, but I'm just trying to figure out why would a big mogul like that will even want to claim to be a best friend. He even said something about the charter buses. I didn't go on all the charter bus trips, but I've been on a few of them. We used to go to Downey Park and what's the other trips we used to go on? But he was saying about the ones in VA. They used to take trips down to VA, but nobody had to pay it. Rich and Alpo used to get the charter buses and everybody ride for free. Some people cars will follow behind the bus and we always go and have a good time. I never remember Teddy Riley. I ain't understanding, man. I don't get it. Daryl but sincere said, "What is it? Is there an element of narcissism, narcissism with Teddy Riley, just like Gully TV claiming he a PG and how a former shooter gunman on the block?" I don't know, bro. Your guess is good as mine, dog. That's crazy. Rose said I was paper clipping Midway arcade games then. Right. So Jay Black said he remember only one time that Teddy Riley and he witnessed Teddy Riley and Rich Porter in the presence of each other. They had M3s and Jay Black got kicked out of school and he had to go to West Side. Anybody from New York know what West Side is? After your last alternative in schools, if you kicked out of them, West Side will accept you. You get kicked out of West Side, you ain't going to school. So he said Rich had the charcoal like grayish M3 and and uh and Teddy Riley saying he think he had the red M3. So he seen them. They made eyes, connected whatever and spoke, because they got the same joints or whatever, and it was outside of West Side High School. Teddy Riley saying he went to school with Rich. I forgot to catch that part. I got to call Black and ask him, but I ain't gonna do no another take on this no more, because it's neither here nor there at this point. But he said that's the only time he didn't jump out. Yo, what up, boy? What's good, man? Yo, he just said they basically pretty much Spoke nodded because they got the same joint. You know how you see somebody same joint, look at each other out of respect. Just hood stuff. But Rich Porter was enrolling Jay Black in the school, going in there as his guardian, because he used to tell him, man, you can go to school, come out after you finish school, you can get some money after school. That's how Rich was with Jay Black. That tight. So if anybody gonna know who was really close with Rich would know, would be Jay Black. My other thing is this. If he was best friends with Rich, this is why I really got to touch on it. Because if he was best friends with Rich, when Rich brother got snatched, Teddy Riley had big paper, and he didn't even have to put up all the paper. We didn't hear nobody say Teddy Riley chipped in, came, called Rich Porter. No stories of him giving Rich any kind of money to get his brother back. None. You heard about Fritz putting up the birds for Alpo to go and take him to D.C. or take him wherever to sell him and get the money and come right back with the money. But I'm trying to figure what kind of best friend would not comfort their best friend at a time like that. So to make these kind of statements, to say that that was your best friend on Drink Champs and you know, say it with your chest poked out, bro, that's real deep to me, man. That's real deep to me because you wasn't there when the family was going through it. And I watched Rich moms and watched the sisters and his sister and everybody look in just disarray and just, like unbelievable. And to find out that they needed some more money because the kidnappers would take what they was being offered, he had to resort to get some drug money from somewhere else. You never came with no money, bro. And now you up here on the Drink Champs saying that you is Rich Porter's best friend. Bro, that's deep to me right there, bro. It's hitting different, man. That's hitting different that a person of his stature would want to, you know, claim that just for street credibility. That ain't gonna make him look no better than what he is. He's already greater than Rich Porter stories, the Outpost stories, man. You definitely made it out the hood. You never had to do none of these things. You might have, yeah, they wanted to keep you out of the streets, but I don't have no stories of AZ saying, yo, yeah, the little young dude, Teddy Riley came around, man, I don't want to hustle. Now, AZ, when I was young, I wanted to get some money. Anybody go watch my Queens Flip interview? I break it down from day one. I used to be with AZ and the Cleaners and wanted to make some money. And he was like, I ain't got nothing for you to do. I used to watch him hustling, exchanging, you know, drugs. But that's when A first started. He was pitching his own self, his own stuff inside of it. And I'm seeing money transfer. And I want to get me some money. I'm about 10 years old. And he's like, I ain't got nothing for you to do. And then, you know, when he used to close the store down to go deliver the clothes, I said, yo, man, I could deliver the clothes for you. That's what he gave me to do. He didn't want me to be in those streets neither. Even when I got older and he got big and moved down the hill to the jukebox, when he first opened the jukebox, he still didn't want me to sell no drugs. Period. So I understand that part with what Teddy Riley talked about, but A didn't do it because I had a talent or nothing. I played ball. He always come get me to play ball against niggas for money, but it was just I was too young in his mind. And he knew my moms and pops because he lived downstairs on the first floor. I lived upstairs on the fifth floor. But for Teddy to claim that right now, and you didn't at least come and try to help his brother, I think that's kind of, it can kind of be took offense to, man. And that's why a lot of people was hitting me up. This was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, they was hitting me up, and I never really got a chance to touch on it. But I started doing my calls, and that's what my bro told me. He said, man, I can't never pinpoint him being no best friends with Teddy Riley. He's like, I know everybody that was coming through that was somebody that was supposed to be family. He said the only encounter he did was when Rich Porter took him to his school to West Side to try to enroll him as his guardian. And they wouldn't even enroll him because when Rich Porter came to school, he was like, all the girls start coming out to class. That's how much of a superstar Rich was back then. That's how powerful drug dealers was on the streets, for real. Thorough Sincere said, it amazes me how people love to be connected to you when your name ring bells, but when they can't get something from you, they get missing. That's true, man. Rose said, yeah, how they don't make responsible hustlers like that no more. Damn, it's still my city under siege. It's still some around. It's still some around, bro. But that's how Rich was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. Even at when A and M got shot, man. I tell you, we was over there looking for the nigga who set it up. We was at his mama house waiting, and the older peers that was with us, it was B, Rich, and two of my other guys. Well, one of Rich guy, one of my guys, Alpo was riding around, seeing if he seen him. And they was talking about going up in there and do something to the guy mother. And Rich Porter was like, nah, we're not doing that. That lady ain't got nothing to do with this. Nothing. And this is the young Rich Porter, and we'll have you twisted if you played that bread. But morals came into tact. But I'm just saying, man, we don't know how Teddy Riley came up with that one. And it's like you didn't chip in no money when his brother. You didn't even have to pay all the money. You could have gave something up. And if that would have happened, we would have known, man. For real. D. Johnson, salute. They said no integrity no more, cause ain't nobody fact finding like you did, Bootsie. Facts. I gotta go and do my research before I say something. And it ain't cool because Rich's sister's still out here, and and she don't bite her tongue for nobody. And I know she like, well, if you was Rich's best friend, you ain't sending nothing over for my little bro. I know it. I wouldn't even mention this to her to bring none of this up. But so I'm just mentioning it right now. I want y'all to share this because I would really love to know how Teddy Riley was best friends with Rich. He said they went to high school together. And I'm trying to remember. I remember Rich playing hooky from school every day, riding on a dirt bike. Him, Clyde, Elton, a lot of big dogs in the game. Y'all could Google them. These niggas, but they used to not even go to school. In junior high school, playing hooky every day, hustling, selling drugs back then, packing bags and all that. So, I don't know, man. I want Teddy Riley to let us know how that happened. Or where you was at. You didn't know Rich Porter brother got snatched. You only spoke about he knew Alpo killed his best friend. And sometimes you gotta forgive people. So basically he forgave Alpo for killing his best friend as well. I'm never forgiving nobody to kill my best friend. Ever. Ever. There's no forgiveness. Nothing to talk about no more. He also said Alpo put $2 million in the trunk of his car. And I'm trying to figure out what year was this, because the Alpo we know, he was getting some money, but a lot of that stuff, like people was telling me, man, Alpo make $100,000 look like $2 million, $1 million. I don't know no Alpo for just straight up having those 2 million to say, yo, go do that. And he's still rocking and rolling. When Alpo first went to DC, he was trying to get somebody to come back to Harlem because he seen how much money it was over there. He was trying to come back and get some people in New York, some big dogs to throw him some work. And Rich used to throw him some work. Never is never. 1990. Oh, hold up. I'm saying it wrong. He put, do you think if Teddy helped Rich during the situation, the outcome would be would have been different? Nah. Well, that's a good question. Yeah, it would have been. I think it would have been different. I think Rich wouldn't have lost his life because he gave Alpo the what 30 birds that Fritz gave him. He gave him the 30 birds to go and get the money to come back so he could get his brother. To add to whatever Rich had. When he gave those birds to Alpo a few days later, week, whatever, I don't know exactly how many days, Rich Porter ends up found somewhere unalived. Alpo tells this story of how he was mad at Rich because Rich didn't tell him that the Connect gave him some work to give to him. Which why would a person think that the Connect wouldn't tell that person that he had work for him? That story don't add up. But the key to it is Alpo never spoke about the birds that he had got. It's a known fact from everybody. He got the birds to go to get Rich brother. He never spoke about giving the money that he went to go and get for Rich little brother. He never gave it to the mother. He never gave it to the sister. Never spoke about none of that. Where's that money at? But Rich is unalive though. Never spoke about that. So if Teddy Riley might would have stepped in, he might would have been like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Fritz, I don't need the birds. Teddy Riley got me." So there wouldn't have been no kind of way that Alpo would have did something to him. That was a play to keep the money and make the people think the kidnappers did that, man. That's all that was, man. That's it. Thorough said, I thought he overcharged Alpo for the bricks. First he said, remember Alpo kept saying, yo, you ain't got nothing to tell me, man? He said he gave him another chance to try to tell him that he had birds for him. And though I do think it was a story that he was also another conflicted story of that Rich was charging him or overcharging him or something too. But however it may go, he never spoke about the birds that he went to go and get the money to help get Rich Porter brother back. He only spoke about he did what he did to Rich because he thought Rich, was snaking him. How would you kill your best friend for just snaking you for some little money? You just won't rock with him no more. That's it. That story that don't even make sense logically when Rich Porter was the one hitting him with birds. Only time Rich would probably go and deal with another person is because Fritz ran out and he probably needs something for right now, so he might have had to connect on the hill. But Alpo was not bigger than Rich Porter or over Rich Porter. Period. There's stories of how Rich give Alpo some birds and Alpo go and buy him, go meet the Connect to buy him, and the Connect get the bag of money and jumps out the window with the bag of money and dipped out with Rich Porter's money. So to go back to what he was saying, if Teddy Riley would have stepped in, Alpo wouldn't have had a reason to unalive Rich Porter, man. The reason was to keep those birds, make people think kidnappers did whatever they did to Rich, man. That's just the bottom line to that. And we probably would have never known who did it to this day because once the feds got Alpo, they told him, tell us about the bodies that you did and we'll let you out of here. So he just admitted to all the bodies that he did, even Rich Porter. So he won't get the time that he was going to get for real, for what they already had on him. So, yeah, if Teddy Riley would have stepped in, I think my brother Rich Porter would still be here, man. Thorough Sincere said, was Preacher really a big deal in those days? That's a fact. Very big deal. Very big deal. But one thing I could say about Preacher, it was guys that he knew was a big deal that he didn't even think about playing with in Harlem as well. That's a fact. A lot of big names. That it was a lot of people that wasn't just robbing people like Preacher that's from Harlem. It was a lot of people that was getting money but played that game like Preacher did. But it was always about somebody owing them some money, or a lot of our people fell out over girls too back then, and unalived each other, beef with each other over females and all that too. Can't even stun on that. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all share this because I want to know if Teddy Riley was the best friend to Rich Porter, why he ain't come in and chip in some money to get the brother back, man. Get a little Darnell back, man. Many God said, how could y'all let Preacher terrorize Harlem like that? Preacher ain't terrorized no Harlem. You know how many terrorizers was from Harlem? Y'all sound crazy. It's, it's terrorizers in Harlem. They pick and choose who they want to terrorize. You know how big Harlem is to terror one person to terrorize? Everybody would have got together and got Preacher out of there so fast. Preacher ain't bother AZ. Preacher ain't even bother Alpo. Period. Now, I wasn't old enough around the Nicky Barnes and Frank Lucas era. Not at all. I was a baby. Blizz, what up? What you saying? Absolutely not to. Which part? I ain't catch you when you threw that in there. He said, but he bothered though. You can bother whoever you want. It's about who you bother. Don't never forget that. Every man on this planet know who to bother. Period. Rich Porter, allegedly, even though Rich ain't here, used to have pay Preacher to do some things for him to some people. So yeah. L. Bliss said absolutely not. Teddy not being Rich best friend. Yeah, salute Bliss. I don't get that one, bro. And he's saying it real good, like that was his big brother and all that, man. Anybody that hangs around people every day, all day, will definitely know who their friends and close friends are. For real. That's a fact. Yeah, politics down south are so different than New York politics. That's a fact. But a lot of us New Yorkers came down here and started, putting the game out down here in these streets. And North, in the South, they started doing their own thing and putting it together. And the things that cost $5 in New York might be $20 when you come down south. So that's what I'm saying. You think Preacher interview matter at this point? Nah, cause he a rat. Preacher interview, nobody don't really care, but it would be interesting. It would be interesting. Let me rephrase that. It would be interesting to get into the mind of a person like Preacher. That's a fact. It would be interesting. Said Teddy Riley not heavy in any documentaries. None. And that's my whole point. But I wanted to research it first. My best friend, Jay Black, right now called him to find out. He don't recall nothing. And Jay Black is the one get the money and the work. Take the buddy upstairs, come down, give another nigga shit. He was doing all that. Him and my bro Slade was the runners for Rich. Rich every day. Every day. At his house. He done told me a story how he was gambling against Rich and lost all the money. $7,000 to Rich. They go upstairs in the house. He like, all right, come on, we go upstairs, man. Rich like, all right, where my money? Because he gave them money for work. And they supposed to came pay them and get some more. They see Rich gambling. They get in the gambling game, and he breaking all of them. And he gambling with their money. He was mad as hell, flipped out, but he ain't go crazy on them. That's how much love they have for them as little brothers. He put them on punishment, but they was around, so they would have seen Teddy Riley at some point in time. And they saying there's pictures running around the internet with, that's what Nori said. Well, it's a lot of pictures. People don't know, but it's a lot of pictures of you and Rich Porter circling around the internet. I've never seen a picture. I even went all through YouTube searching to see if I seen a picture with Rich Porter and Teddy Riley. I have not seen one. I ain't even seen one with him and Alpo. I can't pretty much say what he did with Alpo because Alpo was an in and out nigga. He was an East Side dude. He used to come over be with A and Rich because he had loyalty at one point in time to them. But is that the same Jay Black that Dame speak on in NC? Facts. That's how Dame Dash met Rich Porter, through the Jay Black he talk about. And that's somebody I could say is my best friend, 100 years strong, period. And I know this because when we was little young boys working with AZ, I used to be on the side with AZ. He used to be over there with Rich Porter. We knew everybody who was somebody that came to either see Rich or A. So I can't understand how Teddy Riley accepted that. Yeah. Rich Porter was my brother. Yeah, that was my best friend. And said that he could forgive Alpo. Some people is sentimental like that. Can't forgive a person when they unalive a family member. I've seen it done. On these YouTube channels. Parents forgive the killer of their kids and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, he ain't came and chipped in no money to get Rich Porter's little brother back when that happened. Teddy Riley was popping at that time. He didn't even have to give up all the money. Just, I got you. I got something towards that. As a best friend. That would have been in them documentaries, like Bliss said. We ain't see nothing in no documentaries where Teddy's name came up. None. Bliss said Teddy's real best friend looking at him crazy. Right. The Yellow Top Crew, where the Yellow Top Crew from? The East Side? I think I heard of them before. If there's any documentaries out on them, they got to be real because ain't nobody contested anything about somebody not being real. One thing we say, and I told people I'm going to do a podcast about it. I really didn't want to because it's like I ain't chasing no clout for the Teddy Riley with the Rich Porter thing, but that really was our brother, like a big brother to us. And it's like I really want to see if he know him. I'm gonna see if somebody come up here on this channel and say, nah, he knew him because I was with him back in the days. That's why I'm doing it live. See if anybody come up here and say, yeah. But so I'm not doing it for those reasons, but they always say when you are a celebrity or you get a name for yourself or you put anything out here on this internet, somebody's gonna challenge you if they say that, if they think that you're lying or know that you are lying. So sometimes it's just not good to say nothing up here on these streets. I don't know if Teddy Riley don't know that it's still some of us around. My boys like Jay Black and them, they don't really get on the internet and all that, but I do. And we really was there. But I don't get up here to bash nobody unless it's need be or somebody talking crazy, then it is what it is. I really want to educate. So I don't believe he knew Rich, man. They said call his sister, and I got Pat number, but it's one of my phones. That shit broke. But I'll get her number because that's a good question. I'm gonna call Pat and answer. Cause hey, I know she's very outspoken. She gonna say yes, she go, or she gonna say that mother that ain't give up, that man ain't give up nothing to help us. I don't remember none of that. And a lot of the times growing up, Pat never really came outside like that. She always used to be in the house, being a mother to a daughter and just a wife. But I know my boys definitely gonna know because they was with him every day for years. So you can't be with nobody for years and not see who is who and who was what. It's impossible. Slade and Jay Black was with the man every day. Period. He went looking for Jay Black. Uh, um, Rich Porter, when he first started, when he came home from jail, started getting himself together, and he started getting them birds and was about to start doing this like this. He came to the park on 141st in St. Nicholas, in my hood, where they shot New Jack City at, where they was shooting the basketball at the park, G Money in them. That's the park on my block. Jay Blackman was in there playing ball. Rich Porter came looking for him. Told him, yo, I'm about to open up. It's about to be popping. I need you. And he was referred to Jay Black by some people that he knew from that Rich Porter knew from 140th. And then Slade was like, yo, where you going? And he told Rich Porter, he's like, that's my man, man. He be with me everywhere. He said, all right, tell him to come on too. And that's how the saga began. They never looked back being Rich Porter. So this is how I know Teddy Riley's story not adding up. Because my brother said, man, nah. Only time he seen Teddy Riley was when they was at West Side and Rich Porter was being his guardian to enroll him in school. And told him you can get money after school, but you need to go to school. And Teddy Riley was out there with the red the red M3, and Rich had the silver one. But they didn't speak like they was know each other for years or went to school together. And these are the words out of my brother's mouth. Many Goals said, are you going to be involved in the Pay the Full series Cameron 50 Cent doing? Probably not. Cameron, my brother, love him to death and all that. But you know, Dame Dash is my brother. He created the real Paid in Full. He started off that, and he has his own Paid in Full. It's called My Paid in Full that he's going to be doing. So I'm going to have to be a part of that. I'm going to have to. And I'm not taking those sides. Those are two people that I got love for. A lot of love, a lot of respect for Cam. Whatever he's doing, I wish him success. Whatever Dame doing, wish Dame success. But I started with Dame doing that process. Actually, that's how I met Cameron and got tight with Cam when we was in Canada shooting Paid in Full. But once again, both of them is my bros. So, but I gotta roll with the one that Dame is doing. I just like to keep it balanced and keep everything loyal. But if either one of them call me for anything and I got it, then they can get it. Who had the white Blizz? Blizz said, who had the white and green white body convertible BM back in the day? The drop top, that was Unique Mega Audio joint. First one with the back expanded, the tires to come out in the back, that was Unique joint. Said, what's your favorite era in life, 80s or 90s? I like both, man. I learned a lot in the 80s, which made me be who I am to this day. In the 90s is when I really got my come up. I went and did a bid, facing 60 years, went to trial, got out in 95, and I had some of the best time of my life because I was more older, more smarter, wiser, made a lot more money, and did a lot of things. Thurber Cecilia said, was Fritz the biggest to come out of Harlem? In our era, yes, I could say that. I can't go all the way back to the Nicky Barnes and all those type people, but in our era, yes, he was the man that was hitting Rich, and he ain't have to come outside. And Rich was touching anything and everything, and a bunch of different boroughs everywhere. For real. But yeah, that was Unique Mecca Audio joint, the white and green joint. He hurt the city when he dropped with that one, boy. That was one of the hardest joints. Y'all see they put it in the Pay the Full coming around the Willie Burgers joint. I don't know who car that was. It was a replica of Unique's. That was a Unique car that was in the Pay the Full joint. But Unique is the creator of that. He had a whole bunch of hot joints like that. We used to switch up cars every day. We riding in that. We pull in the garage, come out something else. MPV van with the PlayStation in it. Nobody never had that. Never. He was the first to put the TVs with the PlayStation in it. We ride and play PlayStation and the music jumping. System stupid. Yeah, Rayful had the whole city on lock in DC back in the days. That's a fact. But we had a lot of big boys, man, through Harlem. And that's why the new Pay the Full, all the real people that was getting money back in the days that Pay the Full didn't get into the story because it really was about Alpo and Rich. But it's other people that was big getting money from the east side, the west side, big dogs getting money also. That's why a series have to be made so you can fit all those guys in there because it's very interesting stories with a lot of other people. And you got people that keep saying, why y'all keep drama worrying about drug dealing and all that. People need to know where these stories come from so now you could give these messages to the kids because they never really end with a good message with none of the guys that actually was getting money like that. A lot of them either lost their lives or a lot of them went and did a lot of Fed time. And a lot of them is home now and changed their lives. So it ends with a good story. But why we can't tell our story, but they'll go and sit and watch a mobster movie or a mobster documentary. And that be the problem. We too busy somewhere trying to tear our culture down of what we got and what we making money. Now we can make money off of what we did that was crazy back then. But now we changed our lives. We showing a lot of these kids different things, and we might as well make money off of it legally now. It makes sense, and the stories are entertaining every time. Period. Bliss, I used to see a yellow Acura and a green Acura Legend, four-door riding back the back on a regular yellow Acura. Who's that could have been? You kind of giving me a good memory flashback, bro, for real. I can't remember who that one was. I'm gonna ask Unique who was that joint. It might have been Unique joint too though, especially back to back. That had to be Unique joint. It gotta be Unique joint, man. Now that you're saying that, bro. Rayford used to lock down the stores in Georgetown for only he and his crew could go shopping like Secret Service. That's how a lot of them big dogs did, man. Feed your crew, man. You keep your crew happy, man. You will last a long time out there. And I heard Rayford was feeding a lot of people, man. That DC life was different. That DC money was different. That's why a lot of New York dudes was running down there. Only thing about that was a lot of them was going down there with their chest poked out. A lot of us New York dudes like to go in out of town places and have our chest poked out and not understanding that it's gangsters just like New Yorkers everywhere, man. So it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So respect where you at. It'll take you a long way. And what Alpo did was rock with a lot. He smartened up when he got popped. He he started putting money in the DC dudes' pockets and in the right ones, and it kept all the terrors away, and he was feeding them, and they was holding him down, man. That's just how things go in life. Wherever you at, you hold the people down. Bring love to their community. It is what it is. And people can say you're selling poison. Poison. It's only poison because the police say it's illegal. And it's illegal because they're not getting tax money from it. Liquor was the poison back in the days. And it was illegal just like drugs. Now it's legal. And they got rehabs and people that look worse than people that's on drugs, that's on alcohol legally. So it's poison, period. Bottom line. So that poison your community stuff, I don't even like to hear. That sounds stupid. And nobody forced nobody to go and buy no drugs to, make themselves happy, whatever you want to call it, enjoy their high. You went and did all that on your own. And the government bought it here, period. So now liquor stores stay full, especially on the weekends. Bottom line. Terrible Sincere said, check game. What Rayful, Alpo, Fritz, AZ, Rich Porter did back then could not compare to what Barry Seal and all those guys was getting to ship it. I don't know. You might be right, but hey, who's comparing anything? If you was getting a lot of money, you was bringing in them M's, the millions, hey, they was happy doing what they was doing. Who cares who's the biggest? Because you all gonna get the same time. And the same amount of money, and the money that AZ and Fritz and who else you said, Rayful Edmond was getting, Barry Seals and them was getting their money, I'm sure they could buy the same thing Barry Seals and them was buying if they wanted it. It just was different back then how a lot of the guys was getting money, but they was spending a lot of money on women, buying cars, paying bills, paying rent for the women and things of that nature. And, they spend money like it was legal. That's why a lot of people wonder, well, if they was getting all this money, why they didn't have money for certain things? They were spending it as they go along. Some of them had big stashes, 100,000 riding in the trunk, 100,000, 300,000 in the house, and still getting money, maybe $1 million, and was running through it like kids would do when you getting that type of money and don't know about how to manage that type of money. Even right now, legal money, you got to have an account. You got to have somebody to show you how to manage that money because it'll go to the wayside. A lot of these football players, basketball players, look at them. They end up broke because they didn't know how to manage money. Paying the taxes, all that. They take big chunks of taxes out. So it's just the way of life, man. If you don't follow that pattern, and when you're young, especially hustling and selling drugs back then, nobody knew nothing about managing money. They buy new sneakers every day. If you ain't got sneakers on, you got shoes on, they get ready to go play a basketball game. They'll go buy a brand new pair of sneakers just to play basketball in it. Seen it done every time. A lot of the times. Did you know the dude Gloria Velez got caught with? Now I don't know who he is, who she got caught with. Terrible Sincere said money was coming too fast. A fact. AZ Spot was doing 60,000 a day. I kid you not. He'll send something down there, $1,000 worth of work, and it'd be gone in 5 minutes. People outside lined up waiting for the next batch, and he in the house bottling up. He can't even come out the house because the store kept running out. 60,000 a day, every day. And back then, you only had to go up the hill to get what you need. You ain't got to wait and go out of town and bring it out of town. Go right up the hill, get you some more. You get you a good Spanish dude, they going to see you keep coming. They going to go ahead and start throwing you something extra anyway. So, those was them days. Those was them days. Those days will never ever happen again. Nobody will ever get that kind of money. Everybody now that's getting that type of money. Look at Future brother, the rapper Future. His brother just got busted for, I think it was fentanyl, and he had a whole bunch of it and was getting it from some connect. Busted. Look at a lot of these things on these YouTube channels, man, with all these connects or the plugs is getting locked up now and getting all this time. Can't dictate that type of movement no more. Reason for it, it's rats everywhere. We probably stand around rats every day if we outside somewhere. We just don't know that they're a rat, and they'll be amongst us being good actors. Yo, what up, man? Yeah, what we doing today, yo? Playing ball with us, everything. All right, see y'all tomorrow. As soon as they leave, you go in your girl house, you going home or whatever. He gonna tell you he going home, going with his girl, and he going over there reporting to the police. A lot of people coming home now that went to jail and never told. Never told. But they come home now, they get put back out in society, can't get a job because they got a felony on their name, which they need to change that law. But I've been hearing whiffs about changing that law about a felon can't come home and get a good job. Some jobs is hiring, but a lot of cats come home and can't understand the movement in the new society now. They've been hearing or know of, they have an office where you can go and apply to be a rat and make $100,000 a year. Go outside and bring back information and bring it back to them and get you a check every week. What, 800 to 1,000, 2,000, stuff like that. I guess depending on how big of a rat you are or how much information you bring them, you get paid more money. But they have offices now for that. So they just turn themselves into a rat and don't even care now. Nobody's ever going to get that kind of money no more. It's not going to happen. And the way they giving out this time, I don't suggest nobody would even want to sell any drugs. It's not even worth it. Because what they catch you with now, your lawyer going to start off at 25, 30,000 for a federal lawyer. Many Gold said that's why people are ratting. It has become lucrative. Facts. And they turned it into a lucrative situation by paying them like it's a job. And that's what boosted up the jail economy. Because now they're going to keep the jail circuits going, people in and out, in and out. Because greed is what going to keep people selling drugs. Supreme, salute. That's what's gonna. It's the jails is getting so much money, and people just want to impress the girls. That's what all the hustlers did. We all did it. We want to get money and get the girls, man. Buy nice stuff, stunting, and then we'll stunt on our boys, or we'll stunt on the other dudes from the other block or the other neighborhoods. So we gonna get that money. And these kids' mind now, in their mind is, man, I'm gonna just hustle to, if anything happen, man, I'm gonna do what everybody else do. I'm gonna just turn somebody in. But right now, I ain't hot with the police. You ain't even gotta be hot with the police no more. You don't know who in your crew might leave you at nighttime, get busted for something. Some people can't even handle getting busted with an ounce of weed whenever it was illegal. and still be ready to tell something. A little ounce, get your little smack probation, smack on the hand probation or whatever. They'll lead the police into a full-blown investigation to get people 30 or 40 years. And for a little, they couldn't handle a little ounce of weed. They leave you, get caught doing something stupid after they leave the block with all the fellas and get caught up in something dumb and then say, I could help y'all with something. And that's how easy it is now. It's no more getting no money no more, man. It's no more. Third but success, there's no money in it. The laws got you 100 years. The laws get you 100 years now for getting caught. Back then, people only got 20 years tops and be out before then. Facts. And they would make you do a lot of time. And if that, probably get 5 years. Now they slaying you, especially if you don't tell nothing. And that's the enforcement, the forceful way of making people tell. If you're not thorough and have it in your mind, I'm going to do my time. A lot of people now don't care. They telling and they just say they can call me a rat now. At this point now, I'm just a rat for the rest of my life. They don't even care. That's why I left the game alone years ago. I don't want to be put in a position to talk to no police because I don't like police at all. And there are some good cops, so it ain't all cops, but the majority rule. I don't like cops. I don't want to be put in a position to have to gamble with my life. Because if I do go out and do it and gamble with my life, hustling, in my bloodline where I come from, I got to do my time. I can't do that. I need my good name around here to the day I die. So why bother it? Why pick that poison? I'm going to leave that poison alone over there. I'm going to go over here and figure something else out. And that's what I did in life. Do you think 6ix9ine is a rat? Or did he do what he had to stay alive? He's a rat. Thorough but sincere said, that's why I'm thorough and keep my circle small. That's a fact. That's another thing. Can't be rocking and rolling with new people and everybody, man. Keep the circle small, man. It is what it is. Because these people out here is not playing fair. They don't care. Plant-based vegan, what up? They not playing fair. And you know, 6ix9ine is a rat, and you got to look at it. All these rats now got channels, and people be going up there on they YouTube channels talking to them like they regular people and calling them bro, yeah, bro, and asking them questions and participating in their bull crap conversation. And then 6ix9ine, as soon as somebody be a rat, he glad to bring. They say misery love company. He glad to bring somebody over there with him. See, I told you, Gucci man this and Gucci man that. Who else? Whoever he know a rat now, he want to speak on it. Who cares what you speaking on, bro? You was a rat. Who cares? You want people to be over there with you now? And people look at him now like he just is nothing because people don't care if you rat. It is what it is. I get it. But you ain't nobody to be talking about it. And whoever else ratted. You was hanging with them boys, cursing people out, talking about beating them up when you see them because you had the backup. You had the, the blood crew behind you, and you was talking tough. Now when they try to kidnap you and the tables turned, they turned on you, you started to tell them all that tough stuff you was saying, because you was talking tough while you was making these records and all that, so you still was out there. You didn't even try to get back at them for trying to kidnap you. So you told to get rid of them. But all the tough stuff, and then still get home, want to be tough, want to see Meek Mills, act like he gonna go at Meek Mills, still got security, still faking street movement, man. Did Alpo ever get at Jim Jones for calling him a rat? I don't know. I never really heard nobody actually say they saw it for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Ron Book said, facts, if you do the crime, you know what's liable to happen, so do the time. That's a fact. Thorough but sincere said Gully TV is a rat. I never heard that. I can't vouch for that one. I never heard he was a rat. They said he went and did his time and or whatever he was in jail for. Nobody never really speak on it, but I never heard that he was a rat. So I can't say that one. My thing is this, man. Being outside, if you do the numbers to selling drugs, you do the numbers to the money. If you bought you a bird, and let's say the bird costs 20,000, you might, if you sell birds, really, it's selling it faster if you're selling them whole. So if you sold it for 22 or 23, you're gonna make you $3,000 real quick. If you're doing them fast, you sold 10, that's a quick 30. Now if you take a bird and break it down, and it's 32 uh, uh, zips in a bird. So if you did them and you did $1,000 off the one bird, and you sold them in zips for what 1,000 whatever, and made 32,000, or paying 22 off of one, you will make what, an $8,000 profit, whatever. It depends on how fast it's going. So just say you made the 8,000 and you still got your 22,000. Just say you did the birds 10 times. You could buy one, go get another one, buy one, get another one, made 30,000. And you was only just spending 20. You just keep flipping the same 20 to make 30. You got 30 plus your 20, that's 50. Then you take one bird, you got your 22 plus the 8 grand profit, that's 30,000. So you got 30,000 over here with one person, 50,000 over here with another person, right? When the police catch you, they might even catch you with 2 ounces. Or they might send an informant to sell to you 3 times. Now you got a real case, a conspiracy case, trafficking case. The minimum is 15,000 for a lawyer. The highest might be 25, 30. That's your 30 gone. And if you got 50, you spent 30, you got 20 left. Now you might got bail money that's needed. Let's say you bail out first and then worry about the lawyer second. But a bail probably gonna be about $100,000. Now your money going. Now you scrambling. You got a car. You want to sell a car to get some money, so you can pay for all your expenses. Now you got bills to pay, and you still scared to hustle. Some people still will be hustling with an open case. Then you liable to catch another case on top of the case you got. Now that's another build up for the years that you're gonna accumulate in jail. And all the money that you spend is way over the money that you've been spending buying the drugs. So if you do the math to the whole situation, it don't even add up and it don't even make sense to even be selling drugs, man. Now some people have a plan. I'm gonna do this real quick, 2 or 3 times, make these moves, and I'm gonna save the money. They ain't out there fronting and getting fresh and spending the money and throwing the stupid money in strip clubs, ignorant stuff. Save the money and get out and do something else. But some people say, well, I'm gonna do it just one more time. I got 100,000 now. I'm gonna do it one more time. And that one last time, every time, always end up catching the person that want to do it one last time. Y'all do the math, man. Y'all can ask some people that's been in them shoes before, or is probably either locked up or just came home and said, man, I wanted to do it that one last time, and that's what caught me, man. Damn. And got him all that time. Then you come home, you gotta start all over again from scratch. You got nothing. That's the most, and it's called being addicted to selling drugs. Selling drugs is an addiction within itself. Need to be left alone, man, because it don't add up. And that's why, we preach what we preach and give these stories and show certain things because the game ain't the same no more. The police done figured out ways of catching you without even having to investigate you. They let us do the homework and report it back to them. And then that's when they step in and do the easy stuff and then send you back inside. It's us against us now. It's not us against the police no more. That's why the game is over. It's a wrap. You taking your risks, know what you're doing. But if you know that you can't handle time, that's not the game, or should I say, that's not the game to play. It's not. And don't be a selfish, effed up individual and say, man, if I get caught, I'm just going to tell on somebody else and send another black man to jail so you don't go to jail. That's a selfish, cowardly act, and it's detrimental to our culture, whether we know it or not. It's stupid. Don't get in the game because you know you can tell on somebody. Stop following these clowns up here that told on people. Now they got a YouTube channel and y'all running over to their channels. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you want to see the ignorance what they be talking about. But a lot of them is up here acting like they giving out knowledge about something, but still talking other people's business and creating mischievous. That's not helping nothing, and it ain't helping no kids do nothing. You teaching our kids how to tell other people business, create mischievous stuff against each other, and then they want to be beefing and fighting with each other and end up unaliving each other. That ain't teaching our kids nothing. I don't know how people be on these rats platforms watching them and talking to them like they are regular people. I don't care about all the cool stuff you did, all the money you was getting, and who you was that dude back then. Once you tell them somebody and take them away from their family so you could come be with yours, you was a coward and you was nothing to be respected. Everything you did that was cool goes out the window. Everything is out the window. I don't want to hear no stories of what you did back then. The only interesting part is how you put it in your mind that you know you gonna tell on somebody. Cause that's the only thing that make me want to critique somebody's brain. How could you be that type of person, man? Don't wait till you get caught to want to change your life. You done heard all the stories of your homeboys in jail. You know dudes that's in jail with life and you doing the same thing they doing. What make you think you gonna be better than them at doing it? You not. Everybody get caught. He said, do you think the YouTube hustle is like being in the game? It's definitely like being in the game. A lot of people getting a lot of money off this YouTube stuff. A lot of people like those rats don't deserve to get no money off YouTube, man. And people who going supporting it, when you looking at it, you supporting. Is what they gonna tell me. If it was one of my family members, your family member, or the people that supported it, they did it to one of their family members, they wouldn't like it. But as long as nobody told on their family member and or them, they don't care. That's crazy to me, man. Our culture stand for nothing. For nothing. But YouTube is a good thing. That's putting money in people's pocket and give you other things to do. But one thing I do know about this YouTube, a lot of these people don't know how to get no money doing nothing else. Because you will hear them talk about it. What they do. Or what they are doing. If they didn't have this YouTube, a lot of people wouldn't be getting no money, man. They wouldn't know how to get no money. They wouldn't know what their next move would be. And I'm only going by what I see right now. That don't mean that can't change. A person might do learn something, and I hope that that it does for people that deserve it. But there's people out here that don't deserve nothing when you take another man from his family. That's not good. So you can go home and be around yours. And then be up here on these YouTube streets knowing that there are um, TVs in jail, videos in jail where they can see you up here on this YouTube chilling and smiling and enjoying life, and you got them in there for the rest of their life. That's crazy to me. When you had a chance to leave the game alone and don't get yourself caught up in nothing, so you don't have to tell and take somebody away from their family. This is crazy, man. That new guy that's up here, that 050 and them helped out. I just be looking at him shaking my head, man. And he's saying there's gonna be more people to get got. They didn't get him yet, but he did things for his reason. That's crazy to me, man. I wonder what be inside of this person's brain, man. And get mad when people call him a rat. How you mad because somebody call you what you really are, man? But that's the crazy thing, because most rats is the dangerous ones. Those be the ones that don't mind telling first, because they like, who gonna do something to me? I'll do this to them and do that to them. How you gonna beef with a rat? You can't beef with a rat, because if you don't end them, if you scratch him going at him, and he survive, might end up telling on you, now you done. And he already a rat, so people ain't gonna care. He gonna be on his YouTube channels laughing at you. Yeah, I got rid of you anyway. Got you forever in jail. So how can you beef with a rat, even if they gangster? That's crazy. The odds is against all of us in these streets playing these street games now, and everybody want to call somebody a rat, but the guys who stick people up and sneak them, knowing that they either left the game alone, they ain't in the streets no more, but you want to pull them back in the streets, go and rob them, hold their jury up online, knowing they ain't in the streets no more. So you chancing they either gonna tell on you or they just gonna leave you alone. But that's not fair. That's corny. People like that need to be dealt with for robbing people that's not in the game no more. Now, if a person in the game, I respect the man and step to him and tell him, yo, bro, I need to get some money every week, man. You need to take care of this every week. The way Preacher and them used to do it. But sneaking in people's houses, waiting for them to come in, to rob them and all that, I don't think that's fair neither. But still, at the end of the day, you in the game, all right. But that's still corny to me. Sneaking people and unaliving them just for some money for your gain, that's whack business to me. That's whack business. That's crab in a barrel mentality. Especially when you know it's crab in a barrel mentality when you know a person. I don't care if they're a rapper now, they opening up a store, and especially let's just say rappers. They not in the street no more. Even if they is rapping stuff that street talk, because that's where we come from. So that's what we talking. But they ain't in the street no more. So it's easier to catch them because now they living their best life. They ain't worrying about nothing. But they try to mix rap with still consider being in the streets. And you catch them coming out of a club, they drinking, they ain't paying no attention. Even though rappers will have their security with them or they crew with them, and sometimes some rappers think they ain't got no problems, which you should never think that way anyway. Know that you got a problem because you got some money. And people is hungry out here and will do anything. But then they going to make you have to come back to the streets. So I don't see how that works. A person got to come back to the streets after living their best life rapping, and now I got to go back looking for this person that robbed me. And now I'm being tricked off the street. He ain't got nothing to lose because he just robbing. He ain't nothing. I got something to lose. Like Jay-Z said, I shoot you, I'm brainless. You shoot me, you famous. What a ninja to do. That's why our culture is in a very bad space. We're in a very bad space. Because as soon as you don't go looking for them, They're gonna call you soft. Now your rap career over because you talking that talk, that street talk, but you ain't in the streets no more. You talking how you used to be. You ain't saying what you doing now, but you got the young boys out here saying what they do, and they really be outside doing it, and they go do it and then talk about it and get themselves in trouble. Stupidity rap. But our culture, if they don't deal with stick up dudes that stick up people that ain't in the streets, really in the streets, not because they talk street stuff, really outside in the streets, and you go and robbing them and all that. My theory, they should get treatment if they do ever get locked up or something. The same way a person get treatment if you go to jail for RAPE, a woman or a child or whatever. You still get the treatment. Why you bothering that man? That man ain't even in the streets no more, man. Y'all don't get no points for that. Because now y'all gonna call him a rat if he not in the streets and he live a civilian life now. But he's talking street, but he's still doing legal business. It's plenty of people out there to rob that's getting money, scheme on them, and that's doing other things. Certain things just need to leave fair ground. Don't bother that. But in our culture, you still got ignorant-minded people. They don't care. They that hungry, they'll do it. And then you got to bring the person back out of retirement, and now they got to go and hunt you down, or just leave it alone. That's crazy. It's crazy. Our cultures are the big dilemma, boy, and it's only because of us. Crab in the barrel mentality, man. That's it. So yeah, man, I got a boogie, y'all. I'll be back to chop it up with y'all. I gotta do some more research on the girl Ashley Jonay. I'm hearing that they saying that the guy got well, not got caught, but basically they found out that he really did it, but he's still roaming around. He ain't locked up yet. They ain't charging with it yet. I gotta do some research before I come back because it's messed up. And what's messed up is a lot of our black men is really killing their girlfriends, which is our black women out here, and that's crazy. When they don't want to be with you no more, want to divorce you, that's crazy. Once again, it's us against us killing off our culture, and we killing off our women that makes other black babies, man. Mm-mm. It's wild to me, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot more to push forward for in our culture, man. Because all this other stuff is irrelevant and stupid. Robbing for jewelry that don't even amount to nothing after you sell it. Then you probably gotta split the money with somebody else. Dumb. That's straight up dumb. Your boy Big Bootsie, Street Knowledge Podcast. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for me. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button and that notification button so you know when I'm up here. But I'll be back. Peace.